Hello and thank you for tuning in to Millennial Movies. I'm your host, Jesse James. This is going to be my spoiler-filled review of the Justice League. So if you have not seen the Justice League, please go out and watch it and then come back here and we can discuss it together. You can go ahead and leave your comments. If you agree with some of my opinions, if you disagree, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to talk to you guys about this movie because finally, this is a DC film that I want to talk about. But before I do that, I gotta show you guys something that I picked up while I was at the theater. Is this not amazing? Is this not incredible? I mean, look at this. We got Barry Allen here looking mighty powerful. I picked this up for 15 bucks there at the theater. This guy was selling some of his artwork that he worked with at the theater, and I gotta say, as soon as I saw this, I had to get it, and so sure enough I did. It's gonna go up in the background pretty soon, so I can't wait to have that there. So I'm gonna be holding up this right here. Just soak it in. So without further ado though, let's just get right into this review. I'm gonna give you guys some of my complaints, minor complaints. Well, one big complaint, but the rest are minor, at least in my view. And the pros to this movie. The pros definitely outweigh the cons. So first thing I want to say is to DC and Warner Brothers, thank you. Thank you for finally giving me a fun DC film. Because Suicide Squad is the worst comic book movie I have ever seen. I don't care what you say, you're not gonna change my mind. I'm not the biggest Wonder Woman fan. I like the character, but the movie, it was okay. Man of Steel is pretty good. Pretty good. BVS, the first hour, bored me to death. But the second hour was awesome. Justice League as a whole, I was in it from the beginning. So, thank you, DC and Warner Brothers, and everyone behind the team, Joss Whedon especially, because I think that Joss Whedon, I know apparently he only did like 30 to 40% of like the reshoots and like, you know, everything that putting the film together, but this definitely feels like that perfect mix of Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon, because if it was just Zack Snyder, I don't know how I feel about this movie, but I think the fact that obviously it's a very tragic thing what happened to Zack Snyder's daughter, but Joss Whedon coming into this, I think, elevated this film into a certain level that I don't know if it would have been if it was just Zack Snyder working on it before. Zack Snyder's a good director, and you know he's got his look, he's got his feel, he's got his magic touch. But I don't know if very many Zack Snyder movies are fun. They're beautiful, but at least to me, not many of them are fun. But this movie is definitely that, and that's okay. Because this isn't a great movie. By any means, it's not a great movie. But it's a fun movie that I enjoyed, and I'm actually looking forward to watching again. Probably not in the theater, but when it's out on DVD. So, let's get started with some of the cons. You know, get the bad stuff out of the way first, then we'll end on a good note. So, my biggest con with this movie is the villain. And that's a little unfortunate because Marvel has this same problem with their villains, with the exception of few, like Loki, the Winter Soldier, Vulture, Red Skull. But of those four, two of them, one's gone, one's in prison, and the other two have turned into anti-heroes, or heroes, you could say. Winter Soldier's turned into a hero, Loki's like still in between. So Marvel has a huge villain problem, but DC, at least I like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I like Michael Shannon as shit, I forget his name. General Zod. He was very good. I like that villain. And I guess really that's about it. We haven't seen enough of Joker for me to have a true opinion on Jared Leto's Joker, but I mean, I'm curious to see more. So far, DC's done fairly well with their villains. And Steppenwolf, boy, is he forgettable. I've already forgot all about Steppenwolf. I don't know what the character's motivations are. I guess he just wants to conquer everything for the sake of conquering things. Like, he's always talking to his mother, who we never see. Like, you just can't get invested in this CGI monster who's just big, powerful brute. You know, it's basically the same thing with like Doomsday and BVS. It's just this big CGI monster that no one really cares about. So Steppenwolf, again, his character motivations are very flat, very light, and then he doesn't get a lot of his character's not really fleshed out. And I understand why, because this is a huge movie and they only had 2 hours to do it. So if you have 2 hours, are you going to focus it more on the Justice League themselves or this villain that nobody knows except for hardcore fans? You're going to side with the Justice League. That's why people are going to see the movie. So I understand, but it's just very unfortunate because your movie, especially superhero movies and comic book movies and fantasy movies, can only be as good as your villain. And Steppenwolf is a very forgettable villain that I did not care for very much, and it's just hard. It was hard to invest in the character. But aside from that, some of the CGI was a little spotty here and there, but not so much. It never took me out of the film, so that's just a small issue that I had with it. Obviously, it could look better, but I mean, what are you going to do? It's a huge budget film, and some of the set pieces are like mostly CGI, so I mean, what else are you going to do? I really don't know. I would have liked a little bit of the other characters to be fleshed out. Some got more character development than others. I feel like Aquaman didn't get much character development, at least to me. So I could have used a little bit more of what Cyborg was going through. I think Ray Fisher did a good job as Cyborg. Cyborg is probably one of the standouts for me, but I just feel like some of the characters could have used a little bit more development. Obviously we know Clark Kent, we know Diana Prince, we know Bruce Wayne, and Flash really flashed, you could say, in this movie. He was very charming, he was very funny. I liked his personality, so Ezra Miller did a great job as Flash. This is going into my positives now. Again, not too many cons, not too many complaints. Just the villain was a major one for me. But aside from that, I love the characters. I love the time that we got to spend with them. And the moments where I was like smiling is when they were all playing off of each other. You know, just like how the Avengers do. So, you know, it's just fun, man. It was a good time, and I haven't felt this way about a DC movie. I don't know if ever, really. I don't know if I've ever felt this way. So it's a nice feeling. Again, the characters, I love when they interacted with each other. There's a scene where the Flash and Cyborg are just, you know, it's just them two, and they're talking while they're digging up Superman's grave, and they're having a conversation of, is this messed up? And Cyborg's telling them, yeah, it's messed up. And so I like the way that they played off of each other. I liked seeing a little bit of Barry Allen's, you know, his relationship with his father, and the fact that his father killed his mother, and Barry Allen, you know, he was just a little kid, so of course he doesn't want to believe that his father did that. I mean, it's really touching stuff, and I just love the way that the Flash is like very awkward. He's very kind of antisocial. He doesn't know how to interact with other people. He hasn't really done that. He hasn't even fought before. He's just pushed people and run away. So I enjoyed the character very much. That's why I got this poster compared to all the other ones that were available to me. So Batman, Ben Affleck is awesome as Batman as per usual. I mean, oh man, it really, you know, every time I see him, BVS, now in Justice League, it kind of just makes me upset that he doesn't want to be Batman anymore. Like, come on, Ben Affleck, please. You're the best Batman that we've ever gotten. And granted, I'm not the biggest like Batman and DC film fan, so some people may argue with that with me, but to me, as just a general DC fan, I love Ben Affleck's Batman. So Superman was great to see again. I liked his scenes with both his mother and Lois Lane. So I like those moments where we can humanize Clark, and it was very touching. It really got me in the feels when they opened up his casket and he had his father's picture in his hand. He was buried with his father's picture. It's just very touching. It just reminds you that Superman can be humanized, and he has been humanized. Batman even says at some point that Superman was more human than he is, because Superman actually got a regular job, and he actually had a girlfriend. So, you know, he experienced love, and he had his family with him. Bruce Wayne, you know, he inherited that money, and he's never, you know, as far as the films have shown us, he's never been in this very, you know, close relationship like Clark has, and he obviously doesn't have his family anymore. He just has Jeremy Irons' character. So, again, the characters are all awesome. Cyborg was a great standout for me. Aquaman, I was worried about Aquaman with like his one-liners, but it works very well for his character. Jason Momoa does a great job playing this iteration of Aquaman. Yeah, not too many complaints from me. So overall, the movie was very fun, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, and I'm hyped as hell now for the next Justice League movie, which is, it kind of sucks now. It's a while. It's a good while away, but I'm definitely going to be looking forward to it. So now, the thing I want to talk to you about is those two end credit scenes. The first one is Superman and Flash, and they're kind of messing around, being buddies and all. They're having a good time. Flash and Superman are going to race, and they put up a little wager. So I like seeing that part of these characters. I like seeing them getting to become a better cohesive group and more of a family. That's the dynamic that I want to see, and it's good to see them, be able to, to play off of each other that way and build this rapport with each other as close friends. So I enjoyed that scene. It's nice to just have a light scene like that. It doesn't need to be all dark and gritty all the time. So I liked that scene. I enjoyed it for what it was. And the last one though, the one that had me going, Shia LaBeouf gif where he's in the theater clapping. This is what this last end credit scene had me doing. Lex Luthor is on this yacht or whatever, this boat, and then who comes up to him? Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke. And he's got the gray beard, he's got the gray hair, he's got the eye patch. He's looking, he's looking badass. And Lex is saying, they formed this Justice League. Who's to say we shouldn't have a league of our own? And it just sort of ends, and it's like, whoa, Lex and Deathstroke are teaming up together to create their own league to battle the Justice League. Woo! Color me excited. I cannot wait for the next Justice League movie. I really can't. I'm hyped as hell. Deathstroke looks awesome on screen. I enjoyed Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. I cannot wait to see where he goes in the future. I want to see him in the that mech armor suit or whatever that I see like in the video games. So, yeah, overall, it's just a fun, enjoyable movie. I cannot wait for Justice League 2. Not much else to say here, guys. Please let me know your opinions. Do you agree with my overall thoughts? Do you disagree with some of the points? Did I leave anything out that you want to talk about? We can go ahead and talk about it if you've seen the movie. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. If you guys are also interested, this Sunday I'm going to be reviewing WWE Survivor Series. Sunday night I'm going to be reviewing that. That's going to be up on the channel. And Monday my first short film is coming out. It's a scary horror short film titled The Mask. So you're not going to want to miss that. Yeah, this has been Millennial Movies, and I will see you guys next time.